Hi, everyone. Hi, nice to be here. My name is Yogi. Thank you for the warm introduction. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called TinyTap, educational games made by teachers. I'm very happy to be here today. It's my first time in Taipei. I'm loving the energy and the weather. It's winter where I'm coming from. And TinyTap has been around for a decade. We've been working on decentralizing education from the teacher side. Earlier in 2021, we became a subsidiary of Animoca Brands, who's the leader in blockchain digital rights. Yatsu, the chairman, was here this morning. And together with Animoca Brands, this year we've launched a new protocol called OpenCampus, the world's first community-led education protocol. And I'm here today to tell you why we believe it's important to decentralize education and make sure the value is shared equally between the participants, the teachers, the students, and the community, us. But first, let's talk about education and why it's a centralized system. So education is normally governed by the people who has the money, the budgets. So we have the governments and we have private companies. Governments create their own narrative and have say over teachers day to day. Companies follow whatever makes money. And so that results in a few challenging education challenges. The first one is that education, the teachers on the ground are simply underpaid because they're just serving the content, even though they're on the ground with the students every day. And that is the global truth, unfortunately. Second of all, the narrative itself, like what are we focusing on? What kind of content we're creating? That is all up to the centralized authorities. We have slow innovations. It's true to radio, television, computers, laptops, tablets, and AI. Normally it takes a decade for the education system to catch up. And we have access, as simple as that. Equal education for everyone. That is not the truth today. Education varies between private education, public education, and whether your parents have the education to guide you at home. Yet the opportunity is huge. The education market is set to reach 30 trillion by 2023, and that's due to world's growth, especially in Asia and Africa. If you think about it, in the last decade, we had 1 billion children who joined our planet. So we have 1 billion kids under 10 running around that deserve better education. And so to seize that opportunity, we've created TinyTap a decade ago, and we placed the teacher in the center. We gave them a set of tools to create interactive content. It's very simple, just like creating a presentation, but you can make it interactive. You can turn any existing PDF or new content into something interactive that is measurable, that offers independent learning. And furthermore, it offers revenue-generating opportunities for teachers, because teachers who share their content also generate revenue on TinyTap when paying subscribers are playing their games. But just like on YouTube, where you have cat videos alongside CNN, so does TinyTap has educators from all over the world, but also the world's biggest kids brands. Ping Fong is a partnership we've announced just 2 weeks ago. I'm going to give you a second to have the Baby Shark song run in your head and back to me. And Sesame Street, we have a math curriculum that we've created with them 2 years ago, Oxford for English. Super Simple Song is one of the biggest YouTube channels with 35 million subscribers. We're also launching on the platform. So let's summarize TinyTap. It's been around for 10 years. We have 250,000 educational games in 24 languages, over 70,000 creators, 150,000 educators, 10 million registered families. This number is obviously growing all the time. We're one of the top 10 grossing kids apps worldwide on the App Store and Google Play. It's a global company, and we're about 40 people in the company. Right. And so the TinyTap journey was about the teachers, and it was about the early childhood and the TinyTap itself. And so on Web3, we have an opportunity to scale our vision of decentralizing education and add the other participants. You remember from the beginning of the presentation, I talked about students and about us. How can we shape the narrative? How can we shape education? And how can we capture the value? And so for that, we launched OpenCampus earlier this year in April. In the heart of OpenCampus is the EDU token, which we launched listed on Binance Launchpad on April 28. It was the second biggest listing on Binance ever, which shows how much the market cares about what we're doing. This new category that enters Web3 offers a new angle to what all of us are building. There's a 1 billion max supply on the token, and we're building everything around it, making sure the value accrued from whatever we're building together accrued to the token. So let's talk about what we've built so far. Again, this was launched 6 months ago, and we're focusing on ownership, transparency, and funding opportunities through blockchain in education. Ownership. What represents ownership the most is the publisher NFTs. Publisher NFTs are not your regular NFTs. It's not about hype. It's not about PFP. It's about utility. It's about getting publishing rights to digital content. On TinyTap, an existing platform, you have games and courses. Those are generating revenue. And now you have an opportunity to buy an ownership in a course or a game and become a partner, just like buying publishing rights in an actual book. And by doing that, we believe we're opening a lot of opportunities. OpenCampus-The is your ticket to get into different experiences on Open Campus. It's where you keep your educational social credit, your learning records, and more. EduFi is a new category that we're announcing here today for the first time, and it's about the educational financial system, which presents a massive opportunity for crypto, and especially for the Open Campus and EDU token. Funding programs that are DAO governed and helping educators create content for the entire project. And lastly, OC Alliance, which represents all the companies who joined us and are implementing the protocol. Let's review it one by one. Publisher NFT. So Publisher NFT we've launched a year ago. We chose 12 courses on TinyTap, 12 interactive courses that has been running for a few years. They have been generating actual revenue. We've published exactly how much revenue each course has generated and offered 80% of publishing rights for sale. It's sold out. The courses themselves generated a significant amount of money, so only people with deep pockets could really participate in this pilot. But what they got is a different kind of NFT that doesn't fluctuate, but instead, it just represents the revenue and value behind the piece of content. A week ago, we finished another publisher NFT sale. That's a year between them, right? The first one was a pilot to introduce the concept. This one is about community building. In this one, we sold 720. This is just like mid-auction, but we sold 720 publisher NFTs representing content on TinyTap. The owners of them now have incentive to take that content, promote it, localize it maybe, do whatever they want. They own it. Unlike creating a video on YouTube or on other system where the actual platform owns it, here you get a key that gives you access to a smart contract. That smart contract basically holds all the revenue that was generated by a piece of content. So you can be safe and assure that you get access to your asset. OCID. OCID has 3 key principles. First one is allowing learners to store on-chain credentials to a DID. It's a soul-bound token, which if you go to TinyTap, Udemy, any platform that will join us, you get your learning records on-chain. And because of that, when you connect to other platform, you're bringing that with you. So think about your own learning journey from kindergarten to high school to university to online education. Can you really tell me what you've learned? Do you know what you've learned? Probably not, because it's scattered around different organizations. And so with OCID, we have an opportunity to really capture everything on file, and that gives an opportunities for companies to tailor an education program just for you. Star Alliance are all the companies who respect Open Campus and that you can use it with them. It's pretty neat because when you get EDU and you use it to access educational content, you're not stuck on TinyTap. You can move it to any other educational platform, which is how I believe the entire web should be. EduFi. So EduFi is really, and we're just starting with it. What you have here is a kind of a diagram of on-chain revenue share where what I just described, you have the student, he wants to access a piece of content, drops a token, the token is shared, and the creator and co-publishers can just connect and withdraw it. And That kind of financial transparent systems allows us to access a really trillion-dollar market, starting with smart scholarships. Smart scholarships are something we're going to announce very soon with a big partner in Brazil who owns 25% of the schools. So physical schools, not online. And what it allows you to do is, if you want to support a cause today, if you want to support a population somewhere to study something, usually you just need to donate that money, your money to some kind of organization and hope that they'll do good with it. But we don't need to settle for that on blockchain, because on blockchain we can take EDU and we can create permission EDU, which can only be used to access approved vendors. And because of that, I can give it to 1 million kids in Mexico and have them only learn English. And so the middleman can distribute the scholarship, but at the end of the day, I can see exactly what my money did and have an assurance that it will actually achieve that result. Okay, so that's smart scholarship. It's a big market, and we believe will be a much superior product for philanthropy and donation in education. Student loans is a 1.7 trillion US debt market. Okay, it's huge. And it's not just universities, it's traditional schools and much more. Education savings, school debentures, on-chain revenue share, like I showed you. This is something that is already implemented on TinyTap. It's pretty cool, check it out. Educators Fund. In June this year, we've launched a 10 million Educators Fund in Philadelphia at the ISTE event. ISTE is the biggest teachers conference in the world. Those are all Web 2 teachers. They have no idea about Web 3. And then they got interested and made proposals. You can see them on the tree. And then you have the DAO of the EDU token holders who vote on grants. The content created is then being owned by all the EDU holders. It's been half a year, but a very busy half a year, 6 months, and we have all those partners to thank for. One super interesting partner that I'd like to mention is GEMS. GEMS is one of the biggest, not one, it's the biggest private school in Dubai on the ground, and that's why this project is not just about online, but it's about the entire education system. It's not a 2-year, it's not a 5-year, it's not a 10-year project. We're trying to build something much bigger than that. And it's very important to remember, I'll finish with this, that education is constantly evolving. And as I said in the beginning, instead of waiting for slow adoption by the education system, we can together bring innovation and accelerate education. This is our product, TinyTap, tinytap.ai, check it out. You can write whatever topic you want, and you get an interactive lessons created on the spot, visually, not textually, with questions and quizzes. Speaks any language you want and talks to you. And that's exactly what it means to join now and be a part of Open Campus. Because what you're doing actually is you're betting that education will move online, that education will accelerate, and whether the value is going to be captured by centralized authorities or by the participants themselves is up to us. Class dismissed. Thank you very much.